Front of an Oireachtas committee all afternoon. They're still going, in fact, I think, giving Sport Ireland's take on the controversy surrounding FAI Executive Vice President John Delaney and the FAI's bridging loan. We're going to bring you the key clips from the committee hearing, if you didn't catch any of it, from 7:30. We'll run you through the highlights and save you the full 4 hours. There's also Wednesday night rugby. We have Liam Toland and Rory O'Connor, and then Galway captain Sarah Dervin's going to join us as well after their league win on Sunday against Kilkenny. We also have 3 Premier League games this evening, including Man City against Cardiff, Spurs against Crystal Palace. There's also Chelsea at home to Brighton. Richie is here, hello.
Hey, John.
You alright?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. And Kevin Kilbane, hello.
I'm good, yeah. Very good.
There you go, that's a bit more like
Great, Joe.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
great,
yeah.
brilliant.
Hey, Joe.
There you
What's
go.
going on?
There
What a
you
day.
go.
So delighted to be here, so pumped.
Hey, look, 4 hours
Do this.
of the Oireachtas Committee on Transport, Tourism and Sport can be tough.
I've just
on
woken up.
any man. It wasn't bad, I would say, in overall terms.
I know it's fine, yeah.
It was a signal of intent. I think the Oireachtas Committee are much improved on their performance from January 2017.
It's a good aperitif for next week, I think.
Yeah. And John Tracy, after an initial opening statement, which was fairly mind-numbing, as the nature of opening statements often are, because he's effectively just reading something approaching a report
Just getting everything
into
on
the
record.
record. Then I think his true frustrations with the FAI became very, very apparent. So we'll play you a whole ton of clips from 7:30 from the 4-hour Oireachtas Committee hearing this afternoon. They're just wrapping up. Are they still going, JP?
They were when I was looking outside, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're still going. So, but I think we're definitely getting to the dregs of the questions at this stage. Kevin Kilbane, how are you?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
You watched Manchester United last night?
Bits, yeah. I didn't see. I watched the all.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Jesus.
That's a great answer, isn't it?
You should just give that one a
That's
take.
Siri. That's Siri on the watch there. Bloody hell.
Oh my God.
How often does that happen?
I don't know. Sometimes you move the watch. I don't know. It's weird. Just
What
kind
did she say? I don't know how to respond
I
to
don't know
that.
how to respond to that. I really know how to.
Story
respond.
of your life.
I don't know how to respond to you a lot of the time, Joe. Honestly. No, I watched the extended bits today. Yeah. It actually created a lot of chances. Created chances in the game. Should have put 1 or 2 chances away. Then you extend the lead and it's game over, isn't it? They didn't do that. And Wolves are just a side that they're positive in the play.
Yeah, they
go
going.
for it,
They kept
particularly at
going.
home. They go for it. And if you're looking at it at the start of the game, it was going to be a game that was probably trip United up. That's the way I thought about it, and I think it proved that way. But United, it's not all doom and gloom for them.
No, far from it. They were decent.
Yeah.
So how often do you use Siri?
Never.
Can you not turn it off, no?
I should turn it off. Yeah, but it's on the watch, isn't it? It's just.
Well, then turn it off.
Maybe you should.
What do you mean, maybe? It's now impinging.
Maybe
on
I've not
what
even
you
looked
do.
how to turn it off, Rich. I've not been to the
Well, there we go. Well,
How
there
does
we go.
Siri work? You turn it on and then you talk into it, is
Well,
that
it's
it?
like I use Alexa. I use Alexa in the
No, I
house.
know Alexa, but Siri I haven't...
Same thing.
Do you remember Knight Rider?
Yeah. It's the
Same
thing.
principle.
Same thing.
I had Siri on the
Siri,
iPhone, but couldn't.
text Joe Molloy that he's a bit of a tool, and then he'll text you, Joe,
Joe,
you're a bit
you
of a
are
tool.
a bit of a tool.
And would it work okay?
Yeah.
Does it, yeah?
Yeah.
Give it a go there.
I might give it a go, actually.
No, I can't.
I tell you what, Kevin Kilbane, bit of a prima donna in his AstroTurf group this morning, everyone, let me tell you.
Oh,
now, I'm not in this group, I used to be, but I'm well and truly crocked. So, Kilbane doesn't feel the AstroTurf pitch that they play on is good enough.
Yeah.
Now, in his defence...
Considering some of the ploughed
he has
fields
a
that you
point.
used to play on.
Yeah. No, he has a point. This is, it's the one, it's off Serpentine Avenue. It's a hockey pitch.
Hockey pitch, yeah. What's it? Pembroke.
Yeah.
Wanderers, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean...
Well, no, my
QPR
point
back
being,
in
right,
the day.
every time I play, my body is in bits. I'm struggling big style, Rich. That's what it is, right? So if I play on the normal 4G pitches now, there's a bit of give, there's the soft. I can play, it's fine. So I put it into the group today. Lads, any chance of changing the pitch? Oh, you should have seen the response. Yeah.
Not impressed,
You can
mate.
imagine, Rich, some of the sponsors I got, yeah, from a few of the lads.
Prima donna here.
So, yeah.
So you issuing a come and get me plea for a new pitch here on the radio? Is that what this is?
No, I wasn't at all. Joe's brought it up. I was having a discussion with Joe to tell him, because Joe used to play with us, but Joe has, you got a bad toe, haven't you?
Crocked.
He's got a sore toe.
In several ways.
Got a sore toe. So he can't play, but I'm struggling big time. So I've had to now...
And will you be okay on 4G?
I can play 4G. Fine, never really have too many problems.
Would
playing
you know the
with 4G.
difference between 4G and 3G?
No.
No, me neither.
But the pitch that we have, as you know, it's. We used to have the pitch when I was at Preston on the AstroTurf. My first year in the game at 16, and it is concrete. It's like concrete with a thin layer of astro above it. So if you kick the ball 50 yards in the air, it would bounce 50 yards back up.
Yeah.
So that's what you can get from it, yeah.
We're just watching on Sky Sports. Robbie Keane's been interviewed pitchside. Spurs playing at their new stadium, which we talked about it last night. Rob Daly joined us.
Yeah,
in the
I listened
show.
to it. I listened to it, yeah.
He got the tour. It does sound amazing in every way, and obviously it looks amazing. And right now, under floodlights with crowd building, it just looks like this stadium is going to have no teething problems.
Looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks absolutely... I'm there a week Saturday, so I'm looking forward to going,
Nice.
yeah.
Class.
So let's start the news round, and we're going to play you several clips from the Oireachtas committee around 7:30. Richie, you've got some of the headline stuff?
Yeah, Sport Ireland Chief Executive John Tracy told the Oireachtas Joint Committee on Transport, Tourism and Sport today that the FAI have not adequately explained the reasons for that €100,000 loan given by then Chief Executive John Delaney to the association in April of 2017. Tracy revealed he received a hand-delivered letter from the President of the FAI this morning responding to his questions about the bridging loan provided by Mr Delaney. In the letter, the FAI says it will provide more details once a review of issues of concern is completed. Tracy, though, says that's not good enough, and the Sport Ireland Chief Exec was asked the following by Sinn Féin TD Imelda Munster.
Do you have confidence in the board?
Well, let's put it this way. Where we are at the moment is this. We've asked questions and we haven't got answers. And that raises serious concerns within the executive and within Sport Ireland.
Yeah, we all know it raises serious concerns, but my specific question was, do you have confidence in the FAI board? It's a yes or no answer.
Well, I'm not saying yes.
That was just part of the 4 hours plus of hearing today. Delaney himself is to appear before the committee next week, but he spoke about the reasons for him swapping roles within the FAI to Tip FM's Extra Time Junior Football podcast.
I've been trying to attend grassroots football functions and games every weekend, and I've given my life to that, and I love it. I get great energy out of it. I love helping the clubs. I love meeting the volunteers. I love grassroots people. And then during the week, there's an organisation with a turnover of 50 million and 200 staff, so it's a huge organisation now. And then there's a huge international dimension. I'm on the board of UEFA as it is, but apart from that, there is a feasibility study to do a World Cup bid with England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. There are meetings in England next week on that, and that's making significant progress. There's an under-21 bid for the under-21 Euros with Northern Ireland in 2023. I mean, it's amazing that round ball, the football, can unite two associations in that regard. There's centralised television deals to be done. We're starting that process of negotiating that with UEFA, which is, a lot of money for the FAI, which then means a lot of money for grassroots football and other projects. And I could go on. There's the generation of revenue in other parts of the world, like America and Australia, the Irish diaspora, which we've never really looked at yet. And they're just a snapshot of the projects that I'm now, turning my attention to. And it really was impossible to do the three jobs I just laid out to you for one person, and that's why the association commissioned an independent report just to split the duties.
If you're wondering, by the way, John Tracy was asked if the FAI had clarified or explained this €100,000 bridging loan yet, and the very definitive answer was they absolutely have not. The FAI received sent a second letter, which Sport Ireland received last night, and basically the gist of it was we're not giving any more information on this €100,000 loan until after the Mazars audit is complete, which John Tracy felt was unacceptable. And one of the representatives asked him at one point, is it credible that the association will need a €100,000 loan in the midst of a year where their turnover is 50 odd million? And Tracy's response was that it was extraordinary. We'll bring you all the clips in about 15 minutes time and run you through the day. We've 5 or 6 key moments from the Oireachtas committee this afternoon. Tonight's football then?
And plenty of it, as you mentioned, plenty of it of significance. Manchester City can return to top spot in the Premier League tonight. They are without top scorer Sergio Aguero for the visit of struggling Cardiff to the Etihad. City line out as follows, with Ederson in goal, back four Danilo, John Stones, Aymeric Laporte and Alexander Zinchenko. Fernandinho, a first Premier League start for Phil Foden, and Kevin De Bruyne are in midfield, and Riyad Mahrez and Leroy Sané flank Gabriel Jesus, who replaces the injured Aguero. For Cardiff, Neil Etheridge is in goal, Lee Peltier, Sean Morrison, Bruno Aquile Manga and Joe Bennett across the back four, with Aaron Gunnarsson and Joe Rawls in midfield. In front of them, Victor Camarasa and Julia Hoylett and Josh Murphy are either side of lone striker Umar Nias. It's 7 months overdue and has cost £1 billion. As we mentioned, Tottenham's new stadium hosts its first game tonight. Crystal Palace have the honour of being the first visitors. Hugo Lloris starts in goal for Spurs tonight. Across the back, it's Kieran Trippier, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Ben Davies and Danny Rose. Musa Sissoko and Christian Eriksen are in midfield, with Dele Alli and Heung-min Son in support of Harry Kane. For Palace, Vicente Guaita starts in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Martin Kelly, James Tompkins and Patrick Van Aanholt are their back four. In midfield, the trio of Luka Milivojevic, James Arthur and Checo Kiate, with Jeffrey Schlupp and Wilfried Zaha supporting Michy Batshuayi. While Chelsea will continue their push for Champions League football and bringing that back to Stamford Bridge, they hope, with Brighton, the FA Cup semi-finalists, visiting tonight. Chelsea start with Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. The back four of Cesar Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Andreas Christensen and Emerson. Jorginho, N'Golo Kante and Ruben Loftus-Cheek are in midfield for them. Eden Hazard and a first Premier League start for Callum Hudson-Odoi, either side of Olivier Giroud up front. And for Brighton, Matt Ryan starts in goal with the back four. Bruno, Republic of Ireland international Shane Duffy, Lewis Dunk and Gaetan Bong complete that defence, with Dale Stevens, Davy Proper and Yves Bissouma in midfield. Ariel Jahan Gabash is in up front, along with Florian Adon and Solly March, and all three games kick off at 7:45.
Great pronunciation there, Rich. Well done.
Thanks so much, Kev.
There is a text in, somebody saying that Kev should get a pair of cushioned hockey Astro shoes. Be less of a prima donna, Kev, and be more proactive, says Chaz.
Is it? I've got decent Astros. I bought some new Astros as well, only a couple of weeks ago.
What'd you go for?
Well, this is a big thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adidas.
What type?
Oh, don't know.
My eldest lad has started watching boot videos on YouTube.
It's fine, you've already passed the test. Your answer was correct. Kev sounds like he's about ready for walking football. Suitable for the older gent, says Ross.
Yeah.
Would you like that, Kev?
He's the new Romeo Sensini.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a lad who works in the shop by me, and he's playing walking football. Just started to take it up. It's great, isn't it? His ambition is to play for Ireland.
In walking football?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's great, isn't it?
Do you have to be a certain age to play walking football?
No.
How quickly are you approaching it?
Well, I don't know. I think you can. I presume you can play at any age, but you do see older guys playing it. Bobby Charlton's brother. I saw something on it playing for England.
Do you know the way, right? In like competitive walking,
Yeah.
they have people by the side, like judges, seeing if you've actually lifted
Yeah.
any part of your foot off the ground.
There must
Do they have like a referee if you break into a light
Richie,
jog?
I don't know the rules of it. I don't, but
whistle.
I can imagine they'd have that. They'd have some adjudicators on the sideline keeping an eye. That
What's the difference between a very fast walk and jog then on the pitch?
Yeah. I think it is open age group. The reason why the lad said to me that the young lads that play get a bit excited, they can't help themselves and want to run for the ball, and it's kind of, stop yourself.
It's got to be against your nature to kind of do that, especially if the ball goes beyond you. You want to kind of just do a little jog.
Yeah.
Your weight of pass has to be good for lads running onto it down the wing.
You struggle there, Joe, wouldn't you? But I think there's one or two that would.
I didn't know this was a thing. Is this an older...
Yeah.
Any age, he's just said, Joe.
But it's more for people who just can't really run around anymore, but they love their football. Is that right?
I think. I mean, do you know what? I'd be guessing, but I presume it was probably started from lads who'd loved the game, loved playing. Then they couldn't get themselves round even 5-a-side, 8-a-side pitches.
Here we are. Walking football is a variant of association football, straight from Wikipedia, that is aimed at keeping people aged over 50 involved with football if due to a lack of mobility or for other reasons. Though based on association football, key difference in the rules from standard football is that if a player runs, then they concede a free kick. This restriction, together with a ban on slide tackles, is aimed at avoiding injuries. Okay, interesting. Carl says, I literally don't know a single soul who's ever used Siri other than to shout abuse at her to see what the response is. Yeah, my understanding of Siri is that it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I don't use it. So
well, yours pipes up at the worst times.
What are you expecting from Siri, Joe?
Yeah.
Not going to make you dinner.
I thought it would be more of an Alexa. But I wouldn't. Kev was saying there you could tell Siri to drop someone a text. My understanding is it doesn't work very well.
Does it not? No, I presume so. I think it's basically when you're driving, things like that, isn't it? Siri dropped someone a text. And
right. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Richie telling Kev to turn it off reminded me of Roy Keane in that press conference, says Matt. And Neve says, I dipped in and out of that committee stuff today. There were less face-palming moments than I expected. It looked like the members knew they were under the microscope and stepped up to the plate. That was my sense of it as well, I have to say. And even right from the off, the chair of the committee, Fergus O'Dowd, made it very clear that instead of each committee member, as they had done in January 2017, asking a bunch of questions and then passing on to the next bunch of questions before the that the witness could even answer the first batch of questions. They actually just went for 10 minutes each, back and forth, question and answer, question and answer. So that made things much, much better. And I think they went to 3 rounds of question, 10 minutes each, 10 minutes each. So I presume they'll take the same format with John Delaney. And it was good. They were on the ball. There was a moment at the start where Noel Rock, who is definitely, I think, doing a touch of grandstanding. This
is Noel's moment.
I think he's aware of that. He wanted to almost cancel the whole thing when John Tracy read out the letter from the FAI at the start, which was basically saying, we're not telling you any more about the loan until after the Mazars review. Noel Rock wanted to say, well, we're done. But Fergus O'Dowd, the chair, was shooting him down, saying, no, we're not. We're doing it. He actually said, we've talked about this for an hour behind closed doors, and I don't think he was too impressed.
He did have a good opening salvo, which was like, basically go with these yes or no answers. And he asked, in the last 4 years, without wanting to give too much away for later, has the FAI drawn down extra funding? Or funding early, ahead of time?
Yeah, it was very Oprah Winfrey, Lance Armstrong beginning. Please inform Joe Malone.
Rob from the Greats, Joe.
Please inform Joe Malone. Presume that's me. Please inform you that's not my name.
Is that not a type of...
it's cosmetics, isn't it?
There we go, yeah.
Oh, very expensive. Joe Malone perfume and candles.
Is it, yeah?
There was a gaff. Dermot Bannon was looking at one of these fancy gaffs a few weeks ago that I saw, and this guy had spent, I think, 16,000 on Joe Malone products for a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make it smell good.
I can tell you it's not in my house, Rich. I'll tell you that now.
No, we get the mother of Joe Malone candle for
honestly,
Christmas.
there's only Joe Molloy that would do that, honestly. Seriously.
Please inform Joe Malone and Kevin there is no such thing as a 4G pitch. That's from Kevin Kilmurray at International Sports Services. Is there not?
I thought it was 3 and 5G and 4G. I thought it was... Well, all the thing I say is there's a difference between the old-style hockey Astro to the rubber filling in on the Astros. There's so much giving it, and there's a lot. It's soft. It's not great. I still don't think international sides should be playing on it. I don't think any professional team should be playing on it, but...
Pretty sure there is 4G. I mean, I'm just looking up here.
FIFA-accredited pitch surfaces.
Modern 3G and 4G football pitches are FIFA-accredited pitch surfaces.
There you go.
This guy says he works for artificial pitch sports services, but he doesn't know my name, so,
Yeah.
Kevin,
a better one.
Come back to us, Kevin, because we're seeing Astro 4. I just Googled Astro 4G and there's lots of evidence. Porky Queeve, 4G Astro pitch. All over Google. 2G, 3G and 4G pitches. Know your playing surfaces. It's a fun website that we can go into later. The future of artificial grass. What is a 4G pitch? Kevin, there's a lot of evidence that is telling me 4G is out there, but I'm sure you know what you're talking about more than we do. I'd certainly thought there was.
I've heard the term, so sometimes when you hear the term, it's not always right, though, is it?
No, that's very true, Kevin. So where are we going next?
A former Sheffield Wednesday official has been convicted over the 1989 Hillsborough disaster, but the jury's failed to reach verdicts on the match commander. Ex-club secretary Graham Markle has been found guilty of a health and safety offence. A decision will be made on whether David Duckenfield should be retried for the gross negligence manslaughter of 95 Liverpool fans, something which he denies. Darren Cave says he has lived his dream by playing for Ulster. The former Ireland centre is to retire at the end of the current season. He made his Ulster debut, back in 2007, and since has made 225 appearances for the province. Ulster and Ireland captain Rory Best led the praise and tributes for Cave, calling the 31-year-old a brilliant ambassador for the province on and off the pitch. Robbie Henshaw hopes to be back in action for Leinster's Heineken Champions Cup semi-final with Toulouse. The centre has been missing since sustaining a dead leg in the Six Nations defeat to England in February. Henshaw resumed running and training, but this week's Pro 14 game with Benetton has come too soon. Speaking to our own Stephen Doyle today, Henshaw was asked about a potential return to full-back.
Listen, I started my career at full-back for Connacht. Played loads there. Was happy to play there against England. It's a different kettle of fish at international level, and I know that. But I'd be happy to play there again. But at the moment, it's probably back to the centre in Leinster and focus on my rugby there and finishing the season strong. So that's my main goal. But listen, down the line, if there were injuries and if there was, if there needed to be a job done there, if I needed to fill in, I'd be happy to do it.
Damo says surely Matt Letitia would be the Messi of walking football.
Yeah,
be good.
Yeah.
Well, he essentially
that might be for you. That with your bad toe, Joe, you might have to take it up. So your technical ability could thrive. You might even get a cap for Ireland.
Is it really your toe? You look like Gary Lineker essentially in his latter years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know it's the most weak-sounding thing.
Yeah.
But you can't run. You can't kick a ball. You can't turn. If you put any force through the toe, it's like shooting pain.
What's wrong with you? You got gout?
No. Someone, one doctor told me I had arthritis. And I was thinking, God, I'm young enough to have that. And then the other said, you definitely don't. It's definitely not arthritic. It's like a joint issue. And he was trying to do work on it. Seemed to improve it a little bit. But I can get by now walking around without being in pain. But I would think like sprinting or turning playing football, especially on Astro, would just be a bad idea.
Honestly.
It's a bloody nuisance. Like your toe.
Yeah.
Your toe like ends you at 32, 33. Ridiculous.
Just like Gary Lineker.
What happened with Lineker's? I mean, I've Googled that a few times. I couldn't get a definitive.
It's with some odd toe injury that he essentially couldn't properly, much like yourself, Joe. You and Gary Lineker.
Like, it just sounds ridiculous. My toe. Remember David Hay taking off his boot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot goes through your toe, Kev.
Does it?
If you had a sore big toe,
I broke my toe once.
I'd say it's no joke.
If you lose your big toe, it basically,
fine.
if you lose the toe, it basically affects all your balance.
4 or
and stuff.
5 weeks is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, but for those 4 or 5 weeks, you couldn't do much.
No.
I'm like that the whole time.
I don't know. I think it was all right.
Is that true about the big toe? You lose your balance, it goes to pieces.
Yeah, I was on crutches for a couple of days.
Because, it basically throws you off your centre of gravity.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that true, Rich?
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
That's a medical fact.
I actually think you've just heard that.
I agree. I think if someone's told you that when you were a
Google
kid
it.
and you believed it as you've grown up.
Google it.
No, you've let yourself down there.
I'm not
throwing that out.
Google it.
No, we know it's a thing, but actually...
Siri,
I was
use
thinking-
Siri.
There's a lot of people sending in questions to ask Siri, which I think are dodgy. Like a load. So, I can't really... We're not doing that. So, this is terrible stuff in Italy.
It is indeed emanating from last night's Serie A game. Juventus captain Leonardo Bonucci has attempted to atone for his remarks in the wake of last night's win away to Cagliari. Striker Moise Kean, along with Blaise Matuidi, were racially abused by Cagliari fans during the game last night. And after it, speaking about the incidents, Bonucci claimed that Kean was partially to blame for celebrating his goal in front of the Cagliari fans. But in an Instagram post today, Bonucci has a picture of himself and Kean with the caption, "Regardless of everything, in any case," and all in capitals, "no to racism." Bit late.
Pele?
Yeah, Brazilian legend Pelé admitted to hospital in Paris. The 78-year-old took ill last night in the French capital following a meeting with Kylian Mbappe. Pelé complained of a fever, but reports from France say his life is not in danger, but he remains in hospital as a precaution. And former Cork City midfielder Brian Barry Murphy is the new manager of League One strugglers Rochdale. He takes over from the sacked Keith Mills and has signed a 2-year contract with the club. He's been there as a player for the past 8 years.
That's great news. I'm happy about that. I played in the 21s with Brian Barry Murphy. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
We don't see many Irish appointees in the league, regardless. So to see somebody, even if it is at Rochdale, and even if they're struggling,
it's great.
Something of a boon.
Great news, yeah. Great news. I mean, he's been coaching now. It must be 4 or 5 years. He's been coaching now. I've not seen him in a while, but yeah.
He's first team coach there for a while, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think he started with the youth setup and things, and he's worked his way up through the system.
Right. Good on him.
Wexford will likely be without Diarmuid O'Keefe for the start of their Leinster Hurling Championship campaign. He's expected to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after suffering a dead leg while playing football for his club St Anne's at the weekend. The Model County opened up their provincial campaign against Dublin at Parnell Park on May the 19th, the first weekend off. Manager Dave Fitzgerald looks set to be online for that game after successfully having a 12-week ban reduced to 4 following his alleged verbal attack on the match referee in their league quarter-final with Tipperary. And Yuri Geller, you'd be delighted to hear, Kev, has offered to end the so-called Mayo curse. The Cork County last won an All-Ireland football title in 1951 and have lost 10 finals since. And speaking to OTBAM, Geller has invited Mayo manager James Horan to his Tel Aviv home in an effort to end their All-Ireland famine.
Who was presenting OTBAM this morning? I didn't see it. Who was presenting?
Roll it there, Roisin.
Well, obviously, first of all, I don't have to, but it's better if I meet them all, or the coach. So why don't you tell the coach to come? It's a beautiful, beautiful weather here. Look out here.
James Horan, if you're listening, you've been invited to Tel Aviv.
What's his name again?
James Horan.
James, I'm talking to you straight. Look into my eyes now. I'm looking straight into the lens. You have nothing to lose. You just buy a ticket and fly to see me. I'll invite you to my home. I'll teach you a few amazing techniques of mind power. You show that energy. You show what I taught you to the players, and you're going to start winning. You have nothing to lose. You'll at least enjoy a couple of days in Tel Aviv, and I'll take you around. I'll show you the museum I'm building. I'm building an Uri Geller museum here. And, that's it.
He's building an Uri Geller museum.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't
Thanks for that, Yuri, but we're already winning, thanks. So, yeah.
Wow.
You're not going to get over the ultimate line, though, without the help of Uri Geller.
God.
What's your problem with that?
Joe, come on.
So you have an open mind, Kev. Be willing to try out. Mindfulness is a big thing these days.
Yeah.
That is a great get. I'm going to go back and watch that full interview. I can assure you.
All
All it's missing is a live feed to James Horn's home with him watching the interview. That is the only pity. I do remember in
split screen.
Oh, yes, it'd be absolutely class. What's his name again? James. James, look into my eyes. I do remember in 2002 when Beckham metatarsal fever was at its peak. Remember, I was kind of whatever age it was.
Beckham fan, are you, by any chance?
I was at the time.
Yeah.
I'm going off him by the minute. Bahrain Grand Prix did not help.
Really?
So Uri Geller was on. He got everyone to. He held up a picture of David Beckham's metatarsal on this morning and encouraged everyone to send the vibes, and it worked. David Beckham played.
He did.
He scored a penalty against Argentina with with the help of Uri Geller.
Brilliant.
Bloody hell! He jumped out of that tackle against Brazil.
He also helped Scotland miss a penalty. Remember, he was up in a helicopter and made the ball move for Gary McAllister during Euro '96. That happened. He take credit for that as well. Big football man, Joe. Not like you.
Carl Clear. Feel your pain. A lot of people with toe injuries out there. Feel your pain. Had to retire from AIL rugby with arthritic big toe. Humbling, says Carl. I have the same problem with my toe, says Mark. And then Donald wants to know, how does it affect your golf swing? Well, badly. I'm probably popping painkillers every time I play golf.
Probably, or you are. I just think you might be a bit weak, Joe, to be honest with you. You can go out and play golf.
Rest of me's fine.
You can't just come and play football, bit of 6-a-side, 8-a-side.
There's a big difference between golf and playing football.
The amount of yards you're walking in golf and you're swinging and the pressure you're putting on your
I was quite impressed
your big
when I
toe,
saw
which
you
is to
play.
say is key to your balance.
I was impressed when I saw Joe play, and I just thought there's more to come from him.
No.
Yeah. And
I actually saw an interview with Gary Lineker, and he showed his toe.
Yeah.
Some sort of gangrene thing, says somebody. The toe was basically dead. He had a steel pin put in it to try and fix it, but no avail. He only played 7 games for that Japanese crowd as a result.
Nagoya Grampus 8. Give them their due. Class jersey.
That's impressive. I'll give you that. I presume he gave them back their money, says Aidan Connolly. I wouldn't presume that, Aidan. I wouldn't presume that at all.
He's a clever businessman.
Yeah. He still does the odd little things out in Japan.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Gary Lineker. Are we pretty much done?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Sure,
okay.
why not?
That's your newsround this evening. If you didn't sit through the 4 and a bit hours of the Oireachtas Committee on Transport, Tourism and Sport this afternoon, there was lots of interesting bits and bobs in it. We're going to play you those clips next.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
100 days of walking.
Wednesday, April 10th is not just any old day.
It's day 100.
Thousands of us have been pounding the pavements up and down the country since day one on January 1st.
I do about a 30-minute walk a day.
Every day I go out for a walk and it's absolutely brilliant.
And to mark our 100th day